Hello esteemed viewers, how has your day been? Many thanks for joining us again on the Engendered show, a show where we talk about issues pertaining the female gender. I am Confidence Reuben.
And I am Bukola Ogungbeje. Like Confidence has said, on the Engendered show, we talk about everything female, everything in the society, and of course, social media trends. But before we go into the topic for today, let us go on a quick break. We will be right back. Stay tuned.
Welcome back esteemed viewers, and if you just joined us, you're right on time because the show is about to kickstart. We'll be discussing a topic today that says toxic besties at the workplace, family and marriages. And before we go further, let's give you this excerpt on this topic. Having a bestie or best friend isn't wrong, but a toxic one is wrong, and it is detrimental to your being as a whole. And a toxic bestie can undermine your confidence, create unnecessary dramas, or turn your emotional life into a battleground. It is important to detect these signs of toxicity. That is, when you see these signs, it is essential for you to detect it on time. These signs can be in form of unnecessary aggressions, it can be in form of emotional blackmail or manipulations. And when you detect these signs, what next? You ask yourself these questions. Are you walking on eggshells? My relationship with this best friend of mine, is it in any way affecting my work, my family, my marriage? What's the way forward? Now we will be looking at this topic on today's episode on the Engendered, the traits, impacts and coping strategies when it comes to toxic friendships. What is the way forward if you are in a toxic friendship? We'll be discussing this topic with our amiable guest in the studio. She is a sexual and gender-based advocate, as well as the founder of Good Tides Philippine Missions Foundation. She goes by the name Lois Amele. I got you this time. Clapping before she even I got to this time. Yes, you did. Before I know I normally mother that Amele, but I got to this time. Amele. Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. I like the fact that you're shiny.
Let me not look like what we are going through.
Exactly.
Let me not look like what we are going through. Someone is not smiling at all. So how have you been navigating the cost of living? I mean, it's not fun.
I just take it every day because some days I try to plan ahead, right? And then I plan for today, and today went sideways.
Okay.
So I planned that today I was going to be at home from morning, you know, do some little cleanups, just be at home, do some little meditation, and then afterwards, you know, then I'll just come for the show. Okay. Today was sort of like, you know, when you have that cheat day, that was what today was supposed to be like for me. But immediately I started my day, I was excited and all of that. Before you know, my phone fell.
Wow.
And I'm using a Samsung phone and the screen broke.
Oh, dear Lord.
And you know what that means? So I had to run to Banex to try to fix it. And before you know, the day was gone and now I'm here. So today that was supposed to be a cheat day turned into a work and a stressful day for me, because afterwards it was not like, oh, your SIM had an issue, so go to MTN office or something. So I had to move from place to place to just, you know, sort it out and all of that. But I'm here and I'm grateful. So it just taught me a lesson that sometimes you plan ahead for some certain things, but at the end of the day, those things do not go as planned. But one thing to do is to accept the situation and try to cope through it. Try to be
best of it.
Exactly, smart through it. Be happy. Don't let it steal your joy, because that was what would have happened to me today. In fact, I almost, when I looked at the phone, I turned and I looked at the phone on the ground. My husband just said, "Don't worry, just pick it up."
I mean, Samsung can be very expensive.
Oh my God! It's just pick it up. So I just picked the phone up and I just started, you know, moving from place to place to find out to sort it. But I'm happy it's sorted. Yes, I'm glad it's sorted.
I saw a quote one day, and just like it was like the quote was talking to me, because the quote was that blessed are those that don't complain. And I just said, as if you are talking to me. I can't complain. Because even I can complain. Not just to people, even to yourself. Like, the thing is, although I'm working through that thing, I don't, like, I'm doing it. I was like, why do I have to do this?
Exactly.
And I'm just complaining.
So it's not wrong.
I had to make,
you're human.
I had to make conscious effort to stop it, because once you complain, you get to see all of the negativities right in front of you. But when you now accept that, okay, this situation has happened and how can we move on, then you now begin to accept the situation.
You know that.
That's what I also do. I just accept, let it be.
No, like, you know, you complain, like, I've accepted it, I complain, I've accepted it, I'm still complaining. I've accepted it, I am still complaining.
But to me, once I complain, the pressure does not go. It doesn't go away. So I feel the need to continue to complain, to continue to call my friends and tell them, to continue to, even though I'm saying it here, I don't think any of my friends know about it, apart from me and my husband. Nobody knows about it. But before, I will complain, I'll call my dad, I'll call my mom, I'll call everybody that cares about it. I will tell them about the issue, but it doesn't still go away. At the end of the day, they'll just say, oh, sorry. A lot of people are there would not probably sort that issue out. You know, just jumping on the bestie topic and the, you know, the fact that we should have friends and all of that. So sometimes we just call our friends and we just let them know. Some friends will sort out the issues for some set of friends. Some sort of friends will just comfort you. Some friends will just say, okay, sorry about your issue, and that'll be all. Some will just
give you advice.
Some would not even advise you, because what is in front of them is more than what you are going through. Exactly. So they don't even know how to go about your issue. You know, we just have different set of friends for different purposes. I've gotten to learn that, and that's like, there's some friends that now that my phone is broken, I can't even call them. But there's some friends that I'll call them and I'm like, and the friend will be like, what do you want me to do for you?
So what is the way forward?
What is the way forward? And I think I'll give that shout out to Kemi. Kemi is that person. Like, she will say, okay, so what can I do for you? Do you want me to send you money? Do you want me to fix it? Do you want, what do you want me to do?
That one is
like, no, sometimes it's not like you have so much, but because you can do something for that person,
that particular person.
That person, you know, because the relationship has been one that you impact into.
So it's not one-sided.
It's not one-sided. So you know, I give you, you give me. It's not as if it's intentional that look at during her birthday I gave her something. This birthday you did not give me something. It's not like that basically. But you know, there's just this balance. It just
flows naturally.
Exactly.
Because you've come to know yourself.
We're not struggling at all. And I think that's what friendship is about.
That is
we're not struggling to be friends with each other. We're not like, oh, I need to meet up this expectation with this person. She needs to meet up the expectation.
No comparison.
No. Sometimes I send out WhatsApp. If you see my WhatsApp messages with Kemi, she doesn't really reply messages. So most times she just calls me, and somebody goes on my phone and like, this your friend. This friendship is one-sided.
Like, it's not being you.
But I understand her friendship. You understand? I understand that, okay, this is how we are friends. So if I want to quickly communicate with her, I just know that let me just call my friend.
Exactly. She's not the chatting type.
Exactly. So I think it just begins with we understanding
exactly
that
like
person
every
is.
relationship, honestly. Because
Exactly.
you know
it should be based on understanding.
Every relationship is like that, but it just seems like, you know, people just feel like friendship is still a ship, regardless. You're still more than one. You're not in a friendship with only yourself. You are in a, you know, it is
with
a
someone.
friendship with someone. So understanding is like number one.
Exactly. Then communication comes next.
Exactly. Yes, understanding.
And even before you understand the person, I think you need to communicate with the person to get to know who the person is. And then,
just know what works for the person and what works for you.
Yeah, just you just like, you know, when we were asking her like, okay, how is the situation of the country? I just thought about when she said she's taking it one step at a time,
gradually.
There was one thing I saw online. First, like, I'm not saving for rainy days anymore. When it gets to that, I will swim.
Exactly.
I will swim.
Enter the rain and bath.
Exactly.
I just like, at this point, that's what everybody does.
Exactly.
That rainy day.
Just
I am ready with my coat,
because
everything.
These days, the money you are saving turns around to save you.
But I think that resilience, that's one of the issues that we have as Nigerians.
Right.
The fact that when something happens, we just quickly acclimatize. Please, what's another name for adapt? Thank you. So we just quickly adapt into the situation. We're like, okay, since bag of rice is 100,000 naira, that's how we are going to be buying it.
Like,
do you understand? So we formed this resilience about it, and to every
it happens
issue
automatically.
to every issue we just accept it and we just live with it. But there are, I don't know. I feel that is a problem, Sha.
It's a big problem.
It's a problem because one day they will throw some things at us that we cannot take.
Not even we cannot take, because
we should not.
If we are following this, we can take everything. But there are some things that we should not take.
Exactly.
We should not take
exactly. But we take it either ways.
They'll tell you what to do.
All right, viewers, let's go to the main topic of discussion this evening, which is toxic besties at work, family, and marriage. Now, I know so many people are having a kind of misconception of what a bestie means. What is the meaning of bestie? I know bestie is the kind of short form of best friend, but so just tell us, what is the meaning of bestie?
So I'll just say bestie is your friend, like your very close friend. You know each other, you've been through things together, you've lived life together, maybe not all of your life, but at least a short period of time, and you both understand each other, you know, to an extent, but you have been with each other. So I think that would define who or what a bestie is.
Your bestie can be anybody.
Yes, your bestie,
your father, your sister, your mother.
But not usually family members. Sometimes, most
times
outsiders. Yes,
it's very rare. Not very rare, but most of the time, people don't like take their family members.
As besties.
Best because I beg.
I don't see you finish.
Is it your younger sister, your older sister that already there? Maybe you're spraying her perfume too much.
Exactly. and you know,
you want to be bestie with?
No. So I think most times besties are people that they want to be in the same age range, the same. They've gone through the same kind of things together. That's why sometimes, and I like the fact that you fix in marriage into that, because have you noticed that there's sometimes that you're somebody's friend, after the person gets married, the relationship is not just
the way it's intact.
It's not intact. It's not gelling again, and you begin to wonder that what's happening. I think it's because the situation of that person and the circumstances in front of that person has actually changed, and because that has changed, it has affected the friendship. So if I'm talking about one particular thing, you are not seeing that same thing that I'm talking about, because we're not on the same level of understanding anymore. Because now I'm facing maybe husband and some other issues, but then we just talk about boyfriend and girlfriend issues, and we laugh about it, laugh about sugar daddies and all of that. But now that this person is now married, the discussion and the conversation changes. And there's this thing people now would tell you when you're getting married, that your friend that you're with, don't go into marriage with her, don't talk to her about what is going on in your marriage, always talk to your husband about what's going on. And I'm like,
because the person is not
does
married?
it work? Because the person is not married, and they feel that the person can advise you wrongly because the person has not been in that situation before. But I got to notice a lot of things after marriage, and even before I got married, because my besties, I have like 4, you know. My besties, now I'm talking about Mimi though. She got married before me, had 2 kids before me, but we were still friends. Kemi also got married before me, in fact 3 years before me, but we were still friends, and we were still gelling, and we were still talking. And there was a day I was just listening to Pastor Mildred, and she was talking about the fact that it's important that you have friends on different levels. Because if you don't have that, you would now put the pressure that you're supposed to put on, or talk to people about, talk to other friends about, you put it on that your husband. So you tell your husband about what's going on in your life, going on in your church, going on in your, you know, and you would just want to put everything on him, and he is like, oh, I can't breathe, because he also has his own life and all of that. So I just got to understand that, you know, all of those things, I don't think it works anymore when you say people should not be friends with their friends that are not married. I don't think that should be a thing anymore, because there's some friends that are not married and they are matured.
That's true.
And when you talk to them about some situation, they would advise, because I remember when I was not married, I could give a lot of marital advice, and it actually helped a lot of people, because I've been a mental health advocate. You know, I've been seeing people going to marriages, come out of marriages, you know, had therapy sessions with them, one-on-one, you know, and I've gotten to see that, okay, there are some experiences that this person have and this person. So I think there's so much knowledge and maturity that has to do with all of this. So yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, but the thing is, you can't totally ignore the, you know, the advice. Because there are some instances where those friends, because they are not in that level of understanding yet, they can't give you that advice that you need. So based on their, you know how we have a Yoruba proverb that says, you know, what a child can see standing up, I mean, what a child can see standing up, an adult can see it sitting down. So it's just that there are just some people that, because they are not there, they cannot understand.
So there are, instead of you advising that person to cut off from that friendship totally, you can just tell the person, also make friends with someone that is married, not telling that person to cut off because that person is not married.
So we have those issues, but I think I would just buy into some of the things that you said, because those women are speaking from toxic besties that has happened in the past,
based on
experience, and they've seen how okay, I'm friends with you and I'm married, and because you are not married, you now have this jealousy towards envy because I'm married and all of that. So when I tell you that, oh, my husband took me out on a date and my husband did this and we had shawarma and ice cream, I don't know how people enjoy that, but you know, I
enjoy that, please.
We had shawarma and ice cream and all of that.
People hate her right there.
So you have to keep that to show you that you don't like it.
No,
I think we're talking about besties here. You have to chip in that.
It's a big ick for
But you know, if people want to talk about all of those things, they always talk about that. It's a shawarma, pizza, and I'm like, so you know, so when you now talk about that to those kind of people, they don't see the fact that I'm just trying to explain that my husband is good. You know, the relationship is going well. We are okay.
He need to pepper them.
Exactly.
No, but that depends on what type of relationship you have.
Okay.
Do you understand?
So we're talking about toxic ones.
That's one
the toxic ones. That means you yourself that you are giving that jealousy pepper. You too, you are toxic. You too, you are toxic.
So this toxicity is in different definitions.
Yes,
it's in different definitions. So, I think that comes from a place of jealousy for the other person. Because if I'm just telling you that, I'm just telling you because I'm happy.
That's
and
right.
I'm sharing testimonies in the church.
You should let single people breathe. What? Let them breathe. Please. You're not sharing it. Oh, yes, shawarma and ice cream. Please, I can shawarma and ice cream too.
And you buy it by yourself, and nobody will buy it for you.
I know. Jokes about it. I don't understand.
Definitely.
If you as a friend, you are getting the vibe that your friend is telling you this just to be jealous, then that means the relationship has already they've already laid an unstable foundation, and a foundation of I have to do better. We have to run up ourselves, and that is not a relationship. That is not what your friendship.
But we see that
about.
everywhere.
Yeah,
of course,
it is. I'm like,
places,
I don't. Do you know when I hear, especially females, because males, you know, their friendships. I mean, they do have, you know, their own, you know, sort of a relationship. But these toxic besties.
It's mostly about the female gender.
Abound.
So now
in the female
can
gender.
we dive into the workspace? Sorry, just a little bit because of the competition you talked about. You know, there are healthy competitions where
of course.
we just want to push each other, you know, higher and all of that. But then there is this one that I heard about, that when they go to work, this person dressed a certain way, and she has like, maybe she dressed like 500,000 naira complete outfit, and then the next day, Tuesday, I'm coming to work and I'm dressing 700,000 naira complete outfit. I don't know, some people can be more expensive, you know, and they're like, oh, yo man, so how much did you get that bag? Oh, okay, and all of that. And you now get to see that a lot of people now owe so much, are going into debt because of competition. And that person is said to be your friend, because if you ask someone else that is just sitting at the other corner, the person will say, oh, the both of them are friends, so no, both of them are, but there's that competition, there's this jealousy, there's this envy that
already laid the
and you had, and the both of them know, but they have that in mind for each other, and I think that is not a healthy relationship at all.
It's not.
But the thing is, they don't tell each other that is what is going on in that relationship, but they just know that friction is actually
they don't need to tell each other. They know what they are doing.
They know what they are doing.
Of course,
I can't even breathe in that type of space.
I don't even want to experience it at all.
I bet you will compete alone, because that's what you will do. I will not come and put myself into bankruptcy because of one human being.
Okay, so you have that kind of mindset. A lot of people have the mindset that, oh, I must do better, I must do this, even with the fact that the economy is like that. You now begin to wonder that, are we in the same economy with this kind of people? Exactly.
But the thing is, you need to snap out of that sort of, you know, thinking. If you're even going to compete against yourself, not against someone else. Of course, you can look at someone and say, oh, I love a dress sense, or I love this dress sense. I want to dress like this. There's nothing bad with saying I want to dress like this, but you can dress like that on a low budget. You don't have to go on the level of that. You know what you see. You can get the same shirt. White shirt in different grades, different prices. 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 100,000. You will see white shirt of 1 million.
I mean, if you don't tell the person the exact price, will the person know?
The person doesn't know.
Because I don't understand.
No, but that's why people now find the need to now give the prices out. That, oh, I got this for 1 point. You understand? Just to make that person know that, oh, I got it more expensive than.
And the person might not know.
Honestly, if anyone does that to me, I just if I just say, oh, I love your shirt, and you just tell me this amount, I will tell you, I know ours now. I did not has. Are you pressuring me?
That's what I'm saying. There are signs that will tell you that this friendship is becoming toxic. You don't even need a soothsayer to tell you, please stop this friendship.
No, but there are some people, you know, people are, let me say in one word, easily pressured. You know, they see things. We are moved. Not, you know, they say men are moved by what they see. Not only men are moved by what they see. Women, especially with our, like, you know, amongst ourselves, we are very moved by what we see. When you hear, this person is carrying hair of this one, you to be like, am I a chewing stick? God,
am I a furniture?
God, when? But the thing is, as a woman, you need to snap out of it. Like you need to just snap out of that sort of thinking. Be content with what you have with yourself.
And if you want more,
and you can afford it, it's not, if you can't afford it, please, like, afford what you can afford.
Exactly.
But if you can't afford it, just stay where you are. Don't let someone pressure you into going into, it's not a debt to bankruptcy.
Do you know there are friends that don't even have it, but they sell it and they would make you buy from them because they want you to actually buy, they want you to have. So toxic besties comes in. Do you know that you can even be with people and you will not know that they are toxic? You will be in a relationship with someone, you just feel that it is a normal behavior.
Okay, because you are so used to that.
Exactly.
Okay,
and
you
then
don't know better.
You just feel that, oh, that is the normal, that's the way the person behaves, and it is normal, and you have lived with the person like that for a long time. Let's go into emotional abuse now. Let's say what do we say now? Gaslighting, manipulation. An example and a trait of someone that is
because you're so used to that sort of way.
So you see it as a normal,
a normal behavior.
Exactly.
And it shouldn't be so. Even with, you know, with friends, the thing is there's a level you get to with your friend that you know when you are acting a certain way towards them. So if you are truly in a friendship that you want to grow, if it's a friendship you don't want to grow, you can do anyhow you like.
Exactly.
But if this is a friendship, if this is a friend you want to grow with, you should look at yourself. You see that, oh, you're behaving this certain way to them, and this should not be.
Most times you don't even know.
You won't know.
Sometimes you will not know, but you ask that person. Ask that person.
Exactly.
How have our friendship been? Ask for feedback. You know, how has it been? You understand? And the person will be like, oh, you have been like this, you have been like that, and then you now try to walk.
And it depends if you have a honest friend.
No, this feedback is one thing my friends and I did in university. Like, I was just like, if I have any bad thing that I've done towards you, you can just tell me. I mean, I'm not biting your head off. The last thing we'll do is cut the friendship or cut the chains. But there's not, I won't beat you, I won't do anything. But then we got, you know, great feedbacks from ourselves, and from there we grew. Because if I say as my friend, you are doing this, I'll tell you, except if I don't see that person as a friend. But if I see, like, my friend, I can see that you are doing something bad, I'll just tell you, this thing you are doing is not, like, necessarily good. I mean, maybe, and one thing people should try to do it also is, you know, there are some times that your friend does something outside, you know, but because you're outside, you don't know, you don't want to seem like you are against them. So, like, in that sort of situation, please, can you tell me, what can we do? Because this person is obviously my friend, is doing something bad, something I don't totally agree with, but because they are my friend, I can't be seen to go against them, because if not, it will seem as if even your friend itself is telling you that what you are doing is bad. So in that about, but this is your friend that you love so much that you know that maybe on a normal day he or she doesn't do this. So in that type of situation, what do? Will you just say, yes, I'm supporting what you know is bad, and then later you know sometimes what I know people do is they support at that point, and then later on they go and say, but like at that point, I don't even want to support you too. You are doing something bad.
So somebody was saying this on TV. I was listening to, you know, something she was saying, and she talked about the fact that her husband went into somebody's house and brought out the man and beat the man up because the man was beating his wife.
Okay.
So do you understand what I'm saying? So her husband went to somebody's house, brought out the man that was like the perpetrator, and then beat the man, you know, because he was beating his wife. And then the wife, his wife now came out and was like, no, don't do that. So she tried to drag her husband and say, don't do that, don't go into another person's house to beat somebody's husband. It is wrong. You understand? So she kept on saying it is wrong. She was trying to drag him, and you know that woman has been coming to complain to them for a long time. So that day he was just fed up and he went in. So she just came and she was saying, do you know that after 2 years of that particular thing happening, the husband still looks at her and say, you didn't have my back that day. You didn't have my back that day. What should I have done?
Exactly.
Do you understand? So I feel that for me, I don't know, for other people, depending on the scenario, you know, different situations happen. But for me, I would maybe just probably not say anything, or probably try to control the situation. Then afterwards, I will now try to tell you that
the person,
because she said it on TV. She said after 2 years, the husband was still saying that you didn't have my back, and that means if I'm in any situation, you would not have my back. It was a big deal.
Wow. Because it can be seen as a a situation where you betrayed this certain person, but it's just that you don't just agree with that action at that time.
To her, she feel like he would have just gone in there, drag him out, and like talk to him in the camera instead of using violence.
Oh, you can't do that. But like, I don't like, sometimes I'm just like, how will I do it? Let me not seem like, you know, I'm betraying my friend or something.
But then we can talk to the person afterwards.
For me, I sometimes I just play deaf. I just play dumb. If I'm most times, I just play ignorant. If I'm in those situations, I just look and I'm like, okay, can we go now? I'll not be facilitating us moving along. Then afterwards, I'll now point it out to you and tell you that.
I think that's the best way. Yeah, because
you just,
if you correct that person there,
situation and then drag the person in. That's not how they used to do it.
Yeah. And the thing is, all of us are still working towards perfection.
No one is perfect.
You may just be that toxic bestie to another person, and you would not know. A lot of us have been manipulated from our childhood.
So you're saying we can be toxic unknowingly?
Unknowingly. We've been manipulated from our childhood, so we pass it on to other people without knowing. I don't know how to bring out a scenario from this, but there are some things that our parents will just tell us that, oh, this is how we do things. Okay, let me go to this very simple illustration. Porridge. So my mom doesn't eat porridge. I'm just using that as an illustration. My mom doesn't eat porridge, and she says that is witches that eat porridge. Porridge yam, not beans. Porridge yam. That it's witches that use it for sacrifice and all of that. They eat that, and because of that, we didn't eat porridge in our house. So we don't eat porridge in our house. So now, when I now get married, I'm now like, it's witches that eat porridge, and I'm trying to drive it into another generation. And that is how we can be. Maybe there's a negative. Let's say there's a negative thing that she has passed. Do you understand? I would also pass it into another generation. My kids will now say, oh, my mom said this. Pass it to their friends, and use that to probably blackmail or, you know, manipulate them into doing some wrong things, and from there,
and the friends will also pass it
like that. Exactly. And if that's why the need for feedback, they need to step back and look into your relationship. This ego that is in people now, that would not allow people to calm down and really look at situations and look at it very well, understand what it is before you step into the action. A lot of Nigerians are angry, and because of that, people are just acting irrationally, and because of that, you are entering into toxic relationships, because maybe you were fighting with somebody and another person saw you fighting, and the person is like, yes, that's how to do it. You collected the phone number of that person, you and the person, you are fighters. You and the person, you are fighters, and you become friends. Friendship will start like that. If something happens, you just call that person. I just call say, come and see what's happening here. One person runs and meets, you know, the both of you now fight, you know, so you can see that kind of relationship. You like each other, you're happy that the person gets your back in fights and all of those things. But That is not a healthy relationship.
No,
It's not.
It's not a healthy relationship. So when you look at toxic besties, a lot of people are thinking that we're going to be talking about violence and all of that. But there are sometimes that both of you are toxic in that relationship. And you don't know that. The both of you don't know that you are toxic. So you now get to now scream at people, insult people, shout at people, you know, and you now feel that it's that's how the world is now.
And this unknowing toxicity can be very deadly compared to the one that is knowingly.
Exactly.
Very
You
deadly.
know, like in this situation, the both of you are just fighting all over the society. And
when you come back, you just yourself about what happened.
But do you know what breaks that chain? When one of them gets introduced to a non-toxic person, and then start acting strange on toxic person. Now,
what's going on here?
You know?
I think it happens a lot of times that when the person now begins to change, it's not like you're not having clashes, and it's because you are not stepping back to change. And
That's because both of you are no longer on the same page.
Exactly.
Same different thing.
Exactly. So the toxicity is different, and I feel that we should step back into relationships. Let's just step back and look into our relationships. Are you in a toxic relationship? The both of you, husband and wife, can be in a toxic relationship, and you'll be doing these things to each other or to people outside, and you don't know that these things are toxic. So now I'm in a relationship with let's say we're friends and we're fighters. You understand? Then this guy, let's say you're a guy, you come into the relationship and you want to come and marry me, you know, and all of that, and you see that kind of fighting scenario, and you're like, oh, I'm not interested in this kind of life because I don't
you don't subscribe to violence.
You understand? And then you're like, no, so why are you a mumu? People use that word.
That is another aspect to it, because when you don't subscribe to the toxicity, it's like
you're not sharp.
Which rock are you coming from? Which rock are you crawling out of?
They see you as someone that is abnormal.
Like that thing, you know, the word not being smart. Not it's just like you're not smart.
You're not smart. You're not
just because I'm not doing like you, like a crazy human being.
I'm not trying to steal what belongs to you. I'm not trying to manipulate you into getting what you have, blackmail you. You are not looking, it's not like you are not smart, you are not sharp. You understand? And I feel that goes back to emotions, that goes back to all of this, and that's the reason why when you hear people say, oh, I'm in therapy, people are like, what are you doing there?
What's going on?
What's going on? But that person is actually trying to take a back seat on their actions and their lives to check, hope I'm not the bad person that somebody would associate with and either catch the virus or want to leave me for it.
That's true.
You understand? Because there are people that would say, oh, I like this relationship and join you in that relationship. Or there are people that would say, oh no, this is not what I want. This is not, and and the person would leave you. And a lot of people have missed marriages, peaceful, sweet marriages, that they would have gone into, friendships that would have lasted years, that would have impacted them, but just because of one small thing, so my husband was telling me about one of his longest friendships that he has had. It was a guy that he hit. He was the one that drove and hit the person, and after hitting the person, or I think the guy hit him or something, I can't remember how he explained it, but the guy just said, it's okay, it's fine, it can happen to me. And my husband was like,
wait,
okay,
angel,
okay. Do you understand? And that's how they became friends. And today they've accomplished so much together. Get investments together. They are doing so great together. And do you understand? They are doing things together and they are making money together. And I'm like, if this person was not in your relationship, how would it have been? So a lot of us are losing out from good and great relationships because of this bad behavior, this toxicity that we're talking about. It seems small. That's what we're using today. We're using the simplest of things, like ego, like lack of humility, and all of that, just to And we're like, today we're trying to enter into a car because there was this roadblock and all of that. And I entered, there was a man that entered after me and another man entered. And then he started shouting on the other guy, you stepped on me, you stepped on me. But when that guy entered, he actually stepped on me.
And you didn't say anything.
And I didn't say anything because I felt we were just rushing into and it
wasn't
happened. Exactly. So when he started shouting and he was screaming, and I said, did you know that you actually stepped on me where you entered? So these things are simple things. But from there you can now see toxicity coming into it and all of that. A friend also told me about a scenario where she was at the fuel station and she wanted to buy a car, a fuel rather, and somebody just came from the back, I think, and entered into the line or something like that. So she just came out of the car, started shouting, you know, because you're on hijab, you people are the ones spoiling this country. You people are the ones spoiling this. You know that just because of what she said, the people in the other cars came out and they started screaming at that person and they said what that person did was wrong. Started screaming at that person, and she was afraid of the toxicity that she had initiated.
She had enabled.
Do you know she couldn't buy fuel anymore?
Wow.
It was not because of what that, but because of the riot that she had caused. So she just drove out of that place, and she was like, is this me? And she, you know, she was talking about getting into anger management courses and all of that. And I'm like, it's very important because you can just do one small thing and you initiate toxicity into the environment because of the anger that is in the economy and the country and everything. And because of that, you know, you have injured somebody with your words, and afterwards that person is not the same anymore. So I think there are still places we need to look into when it comes to our work, our marriages, our families. You get to see siblings speaking to each other in a very rude way, foul languages, and it starts from there. Because once I can talk to my sibling like that, when I go out,
I can talk to anybody that way. Anybody is our way.
Parents fathers talking to their wives like that, and you growing up seeing that, taking that into your own marriage, and then you are now being the toxic person in that particular scenario. So I feel that we need to, you know, take a break on who we are and just go back and look at it and like, am I this toxic person in this relationship? What can I do, you know, to be better, you know, to
Okay, so let's talk about besties in marriage. I've been meaning to bring this up.
Okay.
Now, you agree with me that to an extent, besties in marriages have caused more harm than good.
For the husband and for the wife.
Especially when it has to do with the opposite gender. Okay. Like you, a man having a bestie that is a woman, and you, the woman, having a bestie that is a man. Now, my question is this. You are a married woman. Are you in consensus with your partner having a bestie who is an opposite gender?
Okay, so I would just say that every friendship should have a limit.
Okay.
Because my husband have friends at work, you know, that they work together, they even travel together. They travel out together, they come back together. You understand? Because it's a work thing and they work together. And I'm like, and they even call, but it has a limit because they know that, oh, this person is actually married and all of that. But there are some besties that would come into your family, want to know everything that is going on with your wife. If you're not careful, you now begin to, as a man, begin to say, oh, my wife, this is her disadvantages, these are the things she's doing that is wrong, this and that and that and that. And then unconsciously, as humans, the other female bestie will now be looking for a way to replace her, since she has that as a disadvantage. I can be your advantage. So you now get to see some of those things. So I think everything should have a limit. A man, you have friends at work that are females and all of that, and that's why some women don't have trust issues. Should I say trust issues? Because they don't trust male having a female secretaries and all of that, because those things keeps happening. But I don't think that should even happen. You as a man having a female bestie, or you as a married woman having a male bestie. I don't think, because you don't think about how the other person feels about that relationship. Now probably we don't even talk about you, we don't even talk about, you know, what is going on in our relationship. We just talk about other issues that are happening. Me, I'm on the other end. I'm thinking, what are they doing? What are they saying? What are they discussing? And I'll be feeling as if you're discussing me. So marriage is a sacrifice. We have to meet each other halfway. We have to try to, you know, understand, oh, this is what you're going through, this is what I'm going through, and let's understand. Because if, put yourself in the person's shoes, exactly, that's what I wanted to say. Because if you are in that particular relationship and I have a friend that is outside and in the night you are sitting down, I'm like, oh yes, so and you know, you just begin to, instead of that time when you communicate with each other, so it's a little bit somehow.
Even taking it, marriage is even taking it too far. Just relationship is not even advisable.
Exactly.
Not to talk of marriage. Marriage.
If this is on married people, they tell you, my bestie is a man and the person talking is a woman. Like to me, I'm not
some people have had those besties from childhood. And those besties are probably because some people don't have, I've heard women say they don't have females as friends because they feel that females, once you tell them something, they tell other people. So they have male friends, and because they have male friends, they just keep those friends.
Besties.
So, but I feel that once you get married, I feel that you have to draw a line.
Yes, you do.
You have to.
Yes, you have to draw a line.
I feel like it's a little bit disrespecting of your partner because you're just bringing all sort of, you know, things into your relationship that shouldn't be there. So just cut off. You can call them. There is, except if, you know, if
once in a while, check up on each other. But that closeness shouldn't be there.
Because if you know that it's your bestie you want to marry,
why people not even getting married to their besties?
Why wouldn't you even marry your best friend?
Exactly.
I mean, that's the right thing to do.
And maybe they just have something that you don't like about them.
And then
no. Like you know, when you have friends, you have like male friends. They're just like you can never even. You don't even see that person as marriage material.
Oh dear Lord.
So there are friends like that. You're close, you're everything, you say everything, you know, you talk, but they're just like, I cannot marry you. Yes,
because you tell the person out of experience. You tell the person everything.
You share everything together.
That's platonic.
Oh wow,
it's platonic.
I really don't still get it, you know. Because if I used to hear pastors say, so who do you marry if you don't marry your best friend?
Not even friend, your best friend.
Marriage, exactly. It doesn't just or maybe it is see finish. You know, because there was there is this couple that I followed online or I follow online. I just see, you know, they have a beautiful marriage, and you know, online couples, you know, they are all about the gram. So apparently she said that they had been best friends for a while. She didn't see him that way. He kept on asking. She was like, I don't just see you that way. But suddenly something switched. So he's I don't know who he's up to.
He began to see you that way.
So it's just like that. You truly don't see that person in that light.
Okay,
you are just like friends. So if you get that friend and then you get on to meet someone else that
another
you see
friend
in that
that
light,
is marriageable.
that is do you know? Leave me alone.
Very true, because there's some people that are your friends but you don't see them as marriageable, and probably they are even your destiny. I don't know if there's a destiny person, I don't know, but they are even your destinies, like you're supposed to get married to them. So you now start going into other relationships, and then you'll be breaking up from those relationships and be gisting them about your relationship, and at the end of the day you don't know that the person you're supposed to marry is that friend, but
you're not just seeing them in that light. Something has to, for you to see that person in that light, something has to click. Something there has to be a switch. Because honestly, when you are intent on like one person being your friend, especially if it's of the opposite gender, you're just like, it cannot work. Like yes, it's as a female, having a male friend, I would not say it's almost like seeing that person as female. It's just like, yeah, my friend, I just do everything. That person now says, oh, by liking this certain way, then it will now break, breaking.
So I think that we compartmentalize. I don't know how to say this. We put
compartmentalize.
Yeah. Okay. We put them in compartments.
Okay.
So I have a friend. You are for, just like what I said earlier. You are for. Let's say we talk about money issues. Okay. Then when it comes to boyfriend and girlfriend, I have to discuss that with you because you will get the gist. You understand? Yeah. Then when it comes to something else, I have another friend that I talk about that particular thing with, because we have friends that like there are some things that I don't want to tell Kemi because Kemi will be like, eh? And you allowed it. Yes. Why would you allow that kind of situation to happen to you? You know, she's that kind of friend. Okay. So if you know that, okay, this thing, I did not do this thing right, don't tell her. So what I do is I'll tell my other friend Mimi will say to his life. Sometimes we make the one that you understand,
the one that will validate your feeling at that point is what you are looking for.
Exactly. So we have friends for different purposes. So sometimes those guys may just be that friend that would not maybe embrace you like to validate your feeling at that particular time, and because of that you are now like, no, now this kind of person, no, this is not, you understand? So I think we just put those friends in compartment. But when you are now that fighting toxic bestie, you understand, whenever it's come to fight, you know, and let's say you are now a guy, when that person has now gone back to now think, and like, oh, okay,
should not have done this,
I can't be friends with this person because we have conscience. At some point you think, you're not like, no, this is not the kind of person I can get married to.
Okay, so, time is against us now. In 2 minutes, what are the coping strategies you have for those that are, you know, battling or struggling with toxic friendships? What are the coping strategies for them?
So I'll say one of the reasons why people stay in those relationships is because of loneliness sometimes. Sometimes low self-esteem, because you feel that, oh, how can I get another person that will flow with, you know, all of that. So I think to cope, the first thing to do is to sit back and look, is this what I want? Because definitely who that person is, you're going to be seeing that thing in yourself when you look into the mirror, because evil communication corrupts good manners. So after some time you begin to see that particular thing in yourself. So if you don't step back a little, you start noticing that you have that particular character. So I feel that it's important to step back a little, get feedback from other people that are probably not your friend, and then from there you now begin to build up yourself, and then you may now even meet somebody that you now like, and you guys will be friends forever. So I think it's the first thing to do is to step back, check. Forget about the loneliness that probably you feel, who will I call if I have this particular situation happening to me, and all of that. And after some time you will notice that, you know, you can actually cope, because sometimes you feel like, oh, without my phone I cannot do this, and that's how it is with friends. No, I cannot leave my phone for 5 minutes. When your phone breaks or when something happens to it, you are without it. You are without it. So at the end of the day, you find a way to cope. So the thing is to live beyond all of that.
Another thing I feel like, you know, people should do is, if you feel like, you know, people are not all bad. We are good and we are bad. So if you feel like you still, this is your friend, you know, there are some friends, they know that this friend is toxic. They're just like, this is my friend. Maybe the person has shown up for them too much. They're just friends that, despite their toxic behaviors, they, whenever it comes to it, when push comes to shove, they show up for you. And they're just like those situations where you're just like, I know that this person has bad character, but I am my friend with all your bad character. But so in that type of situation, I feel like communication is now key. So you sit this person down and you tell this person that, see, this is your character here, like
can we do better?
Let us do better. Now if this person is not willing to do better, then cut off. I believe that's the only thing you can do.
But I think before then, it starts from when you even understand that that person is actually doing something wrong. So it starts from there. When you point out that, oh, this person is doing something wrong, then you're now like, okay, so how can I? Because there are some friends that even as you guys are friends, you cannot tell them some things, like body odor now. Some people have not still found a way to tell their friends that they have body odor.
That's true.
Because it's difficult to communicate. It's difficult to communicate. So in that particular situation, how do you go about it? You understand? So it's
you communicate is what you still do.
Yes,
you communicate.
But the strategy,
how do you communicate?
Yes,
problem.
Do you know that? Your tone, all of these things matter.
You know how you communicate.
For this body odor, please, you need to give a tip to people, because a lot of people are dying out there. Don't know how to tell their people.
That would be a topic for another day. Time is against us.
So I think that this will be a long topic for another day, because for some weeks now I've been a child educator with Nivea, and we've been distributing deodorants to students. Okay, you saw that. Yeah, so I think this will be a topic for another day, but I think the best thing to do is to help them, you know, talk to them about it. And the way you talk to them about it matters a lot. Your tone matters a lot. It won't
look insulting, embarrassing.
Exactly. And you see those people, they use perfume a lot, but they still have the underlying body odor. So it's not even about the perfume. It's not even sometimes about like the deodorant. It's about the hygiene. It goes into the hygiene and all of that. So I think it just starts from you building a
safe space,
consciousness, and a safe space in that person, making the person understand that, oh, we can do this together, let's do this. Oh, should we, it's time, have you taken your bath? Let's take our bath. So you go and take your bath. Me, I want to take my bath. Just simple things.
Don't do it too much.
You can just
just like indirectly.
Yeah.
All right, Lois Amele, thank you so much. It's nice having you on the show. Anytime she's on the show like this.
Do you know this topic? We need a part 2. We should have put this part 1 and then part 2.
Okay, most definitely. And we'll invite her again, because we need to learn more. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I hope to see you some other time again. All right, viewers, this is where we draw the curtain. If you are in any form of toxic friendship, be it your workplace, your family, your marriage, if you can't cope, please simply walk away. Exactly. You cannot come and kill yourself. Till we come your way again, I am Confidence Reuben.
And I am Bukola Ogungbeje. Remember that you shouldn't let anybody push you, pressure you into bankruptcy. So till we'll meet you next time, stay safe, stay well, and stay mentally okay. Stay tuned to Captain TV for more updates. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.